Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers, and today is Friday, so that means it is our page-by-page collaboration day, and I'm doing this, I can't talk today. I'm doing this collaboration with Kyung Shotwell, and her links will be below the video, and this week's papers are Blues and Yellows by the Journal Boat. I didn't realize I was using the Journal Boat 2 weeks in a row, but I really like this paper, and it went with the idea that I had in my head. So this week's project is a flip out on the page, and I've decided to use, to no surprise to you probably, an envelope. And so what you're going to need is some kit papers. Like I said, this is yellows and blues. You can use whatever you want. And one check envelope, which is under here, one check sized envelope. You're going to need ink. Now you could use tea dye if you're using this, but I just got this new color and I thought I would try it out, and it's called Scattered Straw, and I really like it. And it's actually a brown, but it has a little bit of a yellow to it, and I thought it would go nice with the brown yellow on here. And I was correct, it does. I tried it out first. I guess I'll have to admit that part. And then you're going to also need some ephemera, and I'm going to add a pocket as well, so that's totally up to you what you want to do. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side. I've got my page measurements here, just in case you want them. So you're going to ink your page. Let me show you. Wait a minute. How this works. This is page 1 from week 1. This is page 2 from week 2. Page 3 would go here, and then 4 and then 5 is a separate set as well. So that's why when you take the sections out to work on them, I've got number 19 here next to number 2. So you want to kind of keep track. I go through and number mine, but you guys know me, I'm a little nutty, so that's the way that goes. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there and set it to the side. So I've inked the page, and I've cut out and inked the paper. Now the paper ends up being 5 1/4 wide, and then it just so happens that mine's 8 1/4 tall. Your 8 1/2 by 11 is the paper size that you're folding in half, and so I'm leaving a border around, and not a super small one either, so I'm leaving an 1/8 on the top and the bottom, and so that equals 1/4, and 8 1/2 minus 1/4 is 8 1/4. So that's your math lesson for today. So I've also inked the envelope front and back. You don't need to worry about the flap. And I've inked papers front and back for the envelope itself. Okay, so now you're going to set your signature paper aside. You don't need that right now. And your tags, your paper for your envelopes, your envelope aside. You don't need that yet. And you're going to need your kit paper, and yes, I made a spare one just in case. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut a slice in the paper, and we're going to feed the envelope flap through the slice and glue it on the back, and then on the front it will be a flip, okay, or a flap, whichever you want to call it. Now you're going to want to on this particular paper, the 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, I decided that I wanted mine to be about here. I'm going to put a pocket here under the flap, and so I decided that this was going to be 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom of the page and 1 1/4 inches in. So actually it ends up to be You know, I think I might move that 3/4 up now that I've decided to put a pocket. I'm going to put you on hold for just a second and turn my alarm off. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. That meant it was time to take my medicine. But of course I took my medicine right before I started doing this. So we're going to, I think I want to double check how far up I want it. I think I want it farther up. It's probably closer to 1 inch. Yeah. So let's say, let me write this down so when I type it up for you, let's call it 1 inch up. And then 1 1/4 in. You know, I might have written those backwards. I don't think I want it that far over. Let me see, 3/4 inch in. That actually looks about right. So it looks like I wrote them down backwards. 3/4 inch in. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip the paper over. So remember, if you're cutting on this side, when you flip it over, you're going to actually cut on this side. Sort of like the big note I left for myself that says cut on this side. So I'm going to measure 1 inch up. And the reason I'm making 2 is because I'm going to draw a line. And then we want another line. That's 3/4 inch. That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check and make sure. So that's 3/4 inch. Let's make one more. Three-quarters of an inch. So let's draw a line here. And where the lines intersect is going to be the bottom corner of our envelope where we're going to put it. And now remember, the envelope is going to be facing this way, back here. Actually, it's going to be like this. So when you draw your line, wow, I got really close, didn't I? I'm going to line this up in the corner, and then I'm going to draw a little line for the length of my envelope. Look at that. It was maybe 1/8 of an inch off with my guess. Okay, so we're going to cut from here, our intersection, in a straight line up to here. Okay, now I'm using a glass cutting mat, so I don't need to put anything down, but you'll need to put something down. I'm going to try to use this. It's called Slice, or it's made by, no, it's called Slice. What it is it's a ceramic blade. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty small. In the tip of this pen, and this is instead of using a cutter blade, because I'm not very good with those. We all know about me and sharps, right? So it works like a pencil. You just draw with it and it cuts. You do have to push a little bit, even though it's ceramic. And I'm wondering if I need to use the ruler. Let's see how I do. Okay. Apparently I need to use the ruler. I've never done it with this before, so I'm testing it out with you guys because I love you guys so much. So let's see if that worked. Why, look at that. Let's see how close we are for the size. Okay, well, color me proud. As you can see, I put the flap through the slice, and now the flap sticks out back here. Okay? I'm just in shock. I really, really am. Make sure that you've got the whole flap pulled through. Still doesn't look quite even. I may have to make it a little bit smidgy longer. That may be the problem. No, I just didn't have it pushed through. You don't want so much of it that the envelope doesn't lay flat. Sorry about that. I have to move my mat forward to do the filming, and I'm used to working closer. So now we've got the envelope in a straight line. We're just going to flip it over, and then we're going to open it up. I'm going to take the tape off. I better put this away. It's not a pencil. Next thing you know, I'll have cut my finger off. And what am I looking for? Glue. Oh, look at that. I forgot that the sticky was on there. Well, we are going to glue the page down, so that's going to help hold the flap, but I still want to put some glue on there. I do not know what I was thinking. It lets you have a little bit of maneuvering time if you put this on top of the tape, or the sticky part, because now I believe I have moved it. Let's double check and see. Yeah. So I actually need to pull it this way a little bitty bit. Not quite that much. Okay, and you may have to do this a couple times back and forth. You want it to close. Okay, if you have trouble with having air in your envelope, because we're going to cover it completely with paper, we're not going to see this part and use this part as an envelope, like a pocket. And so when you cover this, then you may end up with trouble with air being inside. If you do, before you put your paper on, just poke it with a pin, and then when you push this down, if there's air in there, then it will allow the air to escape, and you can even do it through the paper if you need to, because you're not really going to see it. So let's make sure this is down. Because we don't want it to be wrinkly. I mean, it doesn't have to be down super duper, but it does need to be flat. Okay, so now we've got this here. So this is my paper for the front. I love this. Okay, I know it's a little busy, but I liked it, and I decided I was going to do it. Now, you are going to see a little bit of the inside of the check envelope, even though you're going to paper it all the way on the back side. So you're going to want to make sure and ink this part right here. Okay? Like right where the crease is. Oz, get away from the door. And that's my dog. And as you guys know, guess what? His name is Oz. I just covered the mic, so we'll see. This almost looks a little snug because you see how it kind of catches on there. It is dry now, so it's kind of too late, but we'll just have to glue it down really well right here, and then it should be fine. It is a little close to the edge, but we wanted a little extra room for our little bit of ephemera that we're going to put on here. So let's glue this on the front. I even marked the top, and I wrote envelope front. So this is nice and easy. It isn't as hard as you thought it was going to be when I said we were going to use an envelope to make a flap on top of the paper, and not putting it on there and then covering the flap with paper, which you very well easily can do. Okay. And the reason we don't cover this ahead of time is because you're going to kind of manhandle the envelope around, and you want to make sure you know exactly where it's going to be before you put the paper on. Okay, got the front paper on. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put the back paper on. Yeah, see, you're going to see a little bit of that. I should have inked more of it. Oh, when I inked the paper on the signature, I used this brush. I didn't use like a heavy, like this. Oh, look, that's where the thing was for it. Isn't that nice? Okay, now I've got this one. Oh, if you're wondering how I write that on the pad, because it's really hard to write on these, I just use a regular pen, and if you don't push down very hard, if you just lightly write on there, it will write right on there. So this is S straw for scattered straw. There, more than you needed to know. Okay. Okay. I have no idea what's wrong with him this morning. Probably because I'm recording. Oh, the neighbor's got his big monster truck going. That's probably it. That big truck makes him nervous. People upstairs is laundry stocked, so that's always nice. I was going to record earlier, but all I could hear was their washer and dryer going. I don't feel bad letting him bark just that little teeny bit because the dogs upstairs howl. I think I've told you guys that before. So I just inked this a little bit more and a little bit farther back. And it doesn't matter if you get it. You don't want to get it on here really, but it doesn't matter where you get it on here because you're just covering it anyway. You just want to make sure. And it is blue. So it's not like it's the end of the world. It's, you know, blue and white. We're inking it with the scattered straw. Kind of makes me think of pickup sticks. Scattered straws. Okay. Bad joke number one. Now, we want to make sure that this is right side up because this paper is directional because the little butterflies are going to go straight up. And we're going to glue this paper on. And you're probably thinking, well, how are we going to use that as a pocket? We're just going to trim the edge, of course. And then we're going to break out the butterflies. You guys know how much I love butterflies and dragonflies. By now, I would think. I've got, oh, the dragonfly book tutorial hasn't posted yet. That's 10 parts. It's kind of involved. Okay, so we got that on right side up. Now you don't want to put it so far over that you can't fold it. Just double check it. Okay, it still folds flat. You're still going to see a little of that blue and white. It's just the way it is. And you've got a little extra edge here because we're going to trim it, and then we'll probably have to re-ink it. Now, once you trim it, you are going to be able to see the inside of the envelope. The only other way to get around that is to deconstruct the envelope and put paper across here on both sides before you cut it. And then when you cut it, the inside of the envelope will be whatever the paper is. We're not going to do that because we're trying to stay fairly simple, just so you can have fun, half an hour or so, and hang out. Okay, so we've got that part done. Oh, now we're going to trim the edge. I did say we were going to do that, right? I didn't like this Tim Holtz ruler at first, but now I love it. And my Mr. Pen ruler, Mr. P, has been relegated to backup service. Okay. They did send me some really cool mustache-shaped paper clips, though. Mr. Pen. That's their logo is a mustache. So I'm assuming Mr. Pen has a big mustache. Now you'll see how I'm just cutting just a little shave, whoops, off the end. Shouldn't have started talking, huh? Okay, and that allows the envelope to open. Like I said, you're going to see this, but on this particular occasion, since it's the blue and white, it really kind of doesn't matter with this particular scheme. And I want you to see, this is how thin of a piece. I don't even know if you can see it in the camera. This is how thin of a piece, the size of, the thickness of maybe some thicker, a little bit thicker thread, maybe some embroidery floss, not even that. Anyway, that's all you need to take off. Okay, and I think the inking looks okay, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it once just in case. Okay. I love my little fur baby, but my little fur baby is annoying sometimes. So I'm just re-hitting the edge of this where we cut it, just to kind of tighten up that ink line a little bit. Now all we need is the ephemera and the cards. Now I've pre-inked all this. And I found some butterflies. Oh, I thought that was a butterfly, and it's on the thing. Okay. There's a dragonfly. And we've got a little bitty stamp. So we got an envelope, so we need a stamp. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is the cards for the envelope. I'm hoping they stick out a little bit so that we have a way to grab a hold of them. Yes, they do. Fabulous. Maybe a little bit more than I would have wanted. Both of them can be trimmed down a little bit. No harm, no foul. So I think I'm just going to leave them. They're all inked up and everything. Okay, so let's open this. Now this pocket comes with the kit, and so does the word bloom and these little bitty tags and everything. The tags, the paper that I cut them from hadn't been printed on the back, so they are white on the back, but I did ink them. I'll probably go back and do a stencil or something on the back. I just forgot to do it before I started recording. and there's the word bloom, and hit this pocket came with the kit, and I cut it off this way a little bit and I made it shorter this way. Okay, so we're going to put it right down here. We're just going to glue it on the 3 sides. I have stuff flying everywhere. It's almost like a circus. Almost, but not quite. And now for something completely different. Sorry, Kyung and I are on a Monty Python thing. She was doing a lumberjack journal, and I kept teasing her with the lumberjack song by Monty Python. And she actually put a picture with the lyrics to the song in her lumberjack book. It was awesome. I thought it was awesome anyway. Oh, we got new washer going. Now this has a little bit of a tan border, so I'm going to go ahead and let that border show. Maybe. No, I don't think I am. I think I'm going to push it down so that it lines up with the bottom. Okay. So we're going to put that there. Then we're going to put the word bloom right there. I know, look at all the ephemera that Terry's doing. I even inked it all. I remembered to ink all the ephemera. So we're going to put the word bloom right here. Okay. Then these 2 little tags go in here. I should wait for the glue to dry. This is where they're going to go. Let's leave them out until the glue dries. I'm a little bit scared. We're going to put these little butterflies and dragonflies on the back here to kind of spruce this up a little bit. We still want to see our music paper, but there's a couple spots down here that we could fill. I think like that. My brother Scan and cut those out for me, and it even cut out that little tiny skinny body because it's dark. Don't get me started on light color items. Tracing something and then cutting it is not my idea of easy. I mean, I admit tracing it is a lot easier than cutting it. But if sometimes you have to put a dark line around stuff, like it wouldn't cut this paper that's this light. This is just your little tip while I'm working here. Because you know, you need those little tips. And I'm going to put him right there. My glue's decided to bubble over, and I'm actually using it, so I do not know what the deal is. And usually in these sweet sugar bell bottles, it doesn't volcano on you. So all we need to do now is to remember to glue the dragonfly. See if we can do that. He's awful skinny, isn't he? I think just one little drop of glue will hold him on. I knew that seemed to go by too quick, gluing those on. And then we're going to flip this back. We're going to turn it like this, like we're mailing our envelope. We're going to put our stamp on it. And then the glue should be dry for the pocket, and we should be able to put our ephemera in. We have a nice, quick and easy way to make a flip out on your page. If you really wanted to, you could, if you have good handwriting, you could write an address on there. I'm just saying, I wouldn't do it. My handwriting is awful. Okay, so we'll put these in here. And put these in here, she says confidently. There we go. That's why I didn't want to put it in earlier, because it was a little snug. I cut the little wings off of it so that it wasn't a raised up pocket, because I didn't want that. And then I had to trim it down a little farther to make it fit on the page. So this is what we've got. These cards are in here a little crooked. It makes it look, the envelope look crooked, but it's not. So we've got our page, we've got our envelope, we've got the word bloom, which happened to work out to be in the center. I'm not really sure how that happened. I didn't try to do it on purpose. When we open this, and we've got our flutterbys, and you know, we could put a couple over here if we wanted to. I just don't have any more blue ones out. You know, because maybe one over here would be good, because it is a little empty right there. But yeah, that's it. That's all we have to do for this page. And all we have to do is glue it on. Okay. So this is pretty straightforward, and then we'll be completely done with this page. It looks like we're right at 30 minutes. And that includes me talking. Which means it's probably only 20 minutes. Now, remember our page is directional, so we want to make sure we're gluing it on the right way. You want to leave a little bit of a border. Push that up just a little bit. I line them up on the top or the bottom into the side, one of the sides, and then I just kind of drop it. I still think this could go up just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks a little more better. Yeah, and it looks straight. Okay, so that's our page. That's page 3. And it will go inside of our journal, our flower journal. It looks like it's going to end up being a nature journal. And then next week we'll do page 4. I don't know what the topic is going to be, because this week is Kyung's week to pick. And so I won't know until she tells me in today's video. Okay? All right, well, that's all from me. I will see you in the next episode of Page by Page collaboration with Kyung Shotwell. And I wish you a good week. And I will see you soon. And that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Bye-bye.